WSFA 12 News is teaming up with the Alabama Department of Veterans Affairs and the Montgomery Area Chamber of Commerce for Operation Resilience. Joining us in studio is Brandon Miller. Brandon, what is Operation Resilience?
So Operation Resilience, very simple concept. We are going to introduce the conversation and discussion of the importance of establishing a resilient lifestyle, and then also kind of give some tips for expanding that conversation back home, back at the workplace, with your loved ones and your colleagues.
Why is that important for our veteran community?
So resilience is such an interesting topic to where you have different little subcategories, whether it's grief or coping, mental toughness, motivation, and even though they all fall under the same umbrella, they're all different, and how you respond to each you're going to do differently. So the idea behind this discussion is to kind of give a little assistance, to dive a little deeper, to learn what works for you through hearing what's worked for others.
Why do you think this will be effective, just to open up that conversation?
You know, it's a discussion we've found that it's not happening enough. For instance, with our agency, we've been hosting a lot of events about veteran suicide prevention, which of course is probably more important, but this conversation is more on the front end. You know, life is going to have its challenges. They're going to come up, and how you respond can ultimately help you before, entering a crisis or when things get too hard.
So how will this discussion work? Is this all in person or is this virtual?
So we have it is in person, but also it will be streamed on the WSFA 12 News app and website. But in person, we're going to have the 4-person panel, which is made up of several service members and veterans in the area. And then also there will be a Q&A segment after they kind of talk about some of the experiences they've had.
Who do you think should attend this?
Well, of course, every event we have, we're always thinking of our service members and veterans and their loved ones in the community, but really any leader, whether that's in a household, in a business, in the community, someone who has tasked themselves as someone who wants to have these conversations and introduce them to, assist themselves and others, just with a simple skill set.
Do you think it's important for all of us who interact with veterans to have these skills and know how to start these conversations?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the great thing about conversations, is we get to know each other better, we learn how to communicate with each other better, and that's a big part of this event.
What's your hope with this?
My hope is that it's so successful. We're already planning a second one, but I want to continue to plan these, and then ultimately for the conversations to continue again at people's homes, places of business, and it just becomes such a large thing that we continue to hear about the positive effects, but then also people want to have more of them, because we love talking to veterans in the community.
And just talking sometimes can be so healing, opening up those conversations. It's simple, but it really is healing.
Absolutely, and that's the thing. As we were planning this, we said, do we want to do a live Q&A? How do we want to do it? I said, absolutely. Let's give the microphone to anyone that wants to have it. I've told our panelists plan on hanging around for a while afterward if anyone wants to talk one-on-one, because that's what it is, just being heard, just discussing what you can do in the community, what your purpose is, and knowing what that is, and then of course doing it is just so important in life.
Let them have their voice. Our service members and their families have sacrificed so much for our country, so we should take care of them. We should help them. Give us the details on when and where this is taking place.
Yes, ma'am. So it is on Tuesday, June 27th, 8:30 a.m. at the Montgomery Chamber of Commerce there on South Court Street, right next to I-85.
So that is tomorrow. And again, we will be streaming this here at WSFA.com and on the 12 News app as well. Thank you so much for joining us. And we hope this reaches a lot of our veterans and their families.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.